What's up, everyone? Dr. Derek, Asheville Chiropractic today, shooting another video for y'all. And we want to do a little different spin on this one. You guys have heard a lot from me over these past few weeks in videos and so forth. And so we wanted to take the opportunity to introduce you to somebody who we really are not only honored to have as a friend, as a patient and so forth there, but what she does is her and her family, they completely live the lifestyle that we dream of all of our patients living. And so we wanted to take some time just to share Sadie's story, share her life, and share it in a way that hopefully you guys can resonate with, to maybe gain a little bit of hope that no matter where you're at, what you're doing and so forth, that there is ways to work through the hard, and there's ways to work through the good and celebrate that and allow chiropractic to come into that lifestyle and impact it for greater good overall. And so this is Sadie. So Sadie, tell us maybe just a little bit about, not only just you, introduce yourself, please.
Yeah. Okay. I'm Sadie. I have been married now for 5 years to my husband, Trevor. We own a gym in Lancaster, and we started coming here to Asheville Chiropractic because a few years ago, my husband got really sick and we could not figure out what was going on with him. Every doctor we went to kept saying he's fine, he looks fine. Just at that one point, we had been to the hospital 17 times in 1 month. So it just was no after no, no one could help us. And finally, my mom had been a patient here. So she had told us that we needed to come just look into chiropractic, see if there's anything we could that could help us. And because this is more of a holistic approach, we didn't really know what to expect. So we came in, and I remember the first time sitting down with Dr. Derek, within the first 3 seconds, my husband and I were both crying, because it was the first time we actually felt a little bit of hope in the journey that we were on. And I know you guys really felt for us and wanted to do whatever you could do to help us. So we started coming in June of 2021.
Yeah.
I mean, there were weeks that we came twice a day for the whole week. And it was the first time we saw Trevor start to actually get better, and gave us hope in our journey.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys, neither of you had ever been to a chiropractor before then or anything like that. So and I think it was the same story. I love telling the story when I introduced your mom, Christine, who now works here as our tech CA, she always tells how she was going to cancel her appointment because her symptom went away. So she's like, I don't need to go to the chiropractor anymore or anything like that. So your guys' family was not anti-chiropractic, but I know your dad had a bad experience and was kind of skeptical. So chiropractic was definitely not part of your guys' lives. So maybe take me back through, or just some initial thoughts, if you can remember, when your mom was like, well, why don't you try this chiropractic thing I've been going, or something like that? Where'd your head go immediately when it was like a back or a neck or what?
Yeah, I think that because we were so desperate with where we were at, I was going to try anything. So I was like, maybe it is his back. Maybe it is, we kind of had no idea. So I think just because you guys gave us an ounce of hope that he could be better, I was like, we will try anything. So I think that's where it started. I didn't necessarily have any body pain that I knew of, but it was the hope that you gave that things could be better. So again, that's kind of the reason we started just coming and being faithful patients.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely some crazy times. A couple of times a day, I still remember the 2 a.m. FaceTime, right?
And you were more than obviously just a doctor to us at that point. It created a friendship with us, but also we just truly felt like you cared about us. And one thing I do love about coming here is when I step in the door here, I feel like once it's my turn to get adjusted, that I am the only patient in here. I feel like you guys do a very good job at focusing on the one patient you are working on. And that's something I truly enjoy, because it is a quick appointment. So it's nice to feel like we're catching up, or you actually know me and remember things about my life. I think that's super important when you're picking an office to go to as well.
Yeah. I think, again, I say a lot to patients and so forth. It can sound cliche, but people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think that's a gifting, thankfully, I have, and I don't want to take all the credit for that. Number one, I think God with that, putting that on my heart. And then just number two, a lot of cool mentors and people that have used that statement with me. And I think that was what, I know who I'm serving, I know why I'm serving, I know why we're doing that. And so I think to take that pause moment and show up to that moment like that allows those opportunities for that connection. So I appreciate you recognizing that and so forth. Why you? Obviously, I know it would have been really easy to come in and just focus on Trevor and everything. And I think it'll be cool to eventually talk to Trevor, but I wanted to kind of talk to you first too, through this, why did you decide? Because I think so many times we see that with people, you have a family member who goes through tragedy or goes through an incredible illness or anything like you guys experienced, and it's so easy to focus on them and kind of get lost. And especially as a Christian wife, and that's one of the things I love about you, just how committed to loving and supporting Trevor through all that, like you were, has been like, I don't know that I've ever, and I can almost get emotional, like thinking back to some of those times of just like how much you just sacrificed you for that. But in that, you still chose you and you chose to take care of you. Like, why? Like, what about you fueled you to do that? Because that's not normal. Like, people don't do that.
The vows that I took when you get married, you commit to for better or for worse, and it got worse really quickly. But I chose to just continue to say, you know what, he's still here, so I have to take care of me so that I can do the best at taking care of him. It was hard and still is hard, but I think having hope in not only something that can make us better, but having hope in God that he is here to guide us through whatever we're going through. So that was something I just tried to, most of my focus was on Trevor, but I focused on just keeping me as healthy as possible so that I could do better supporting him and being there for him.
Yeah, it definitely did an absolute amazing job. And that's something that I always will appreciate and recognize in you of like, yeah, I mean, you had hell and chaos around you, but you still did a really good job of showing up for you and that, and still continue to, right? And still continue to, which is really, really awesome. And I think it's neat to kind of see on the other side of this, like we joked before the video, you got Trevor back and like, so, which is absolutely crazy and amazing to see. I love just seeing him, like he's one of the coolest, most vibrant people in the world. And now you're kind of getting some moments to like focus on you again, which is scary, but also exciting and nervous and, you know, what's God have in stores. So like, you know, as you continue forward, like, I guess to me, why is chiropractic something that you continue to show up for? Because nothing's really wrong per se anymore. Like, you know, why do you continue to choose chiropractic?
Yeah. I actually was trying to like thinking about this the other day because I do not live close to here. So for me, it's an hour round trip for an appointment that is maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah, Lancaster has what, 10 chiropractors
Yeah,
probably? And you drive to Asheville.
Yeah.
I think you're not the only person, but
yeah, I think it's the moment I step through the door here, I am greeted with smiles. And again, it's that whole like feeling of, I feel like I'm family when I walk in here. The people at the desk know things about my life. I mean, I've stood up there and talked longer than my appointment is, just them asking, burning chicken, just asking what's going on in my life and catching up and being friends, like legitimate friends with the people that are here. So that's why I drive all this way. I do think it does make me feel better. I mean, I don't really notice that things are crazy off in my body because I am a very like healthy person. I take care of myself, I work out, but it just helps me stay in my top shape, I guess.
Yeah, cool. That's awesome. What would be your, because I think probably of like, if you look at your demographic and so forth there, like you're busy, you got a million things going on in your life. Like if you were to challenge or think of like, especially women, like it's one of the things, and the kind of a soft spot I have is like women in your kind of age group and that range and so forth. You guys, you know, you kind of, it's so easy to see you like getting lost as being a mom or being a wife and so forth there. Like what would be some way you would maybe challenge or kind of encourage some women who are like just kind of lost in that busyness, right? That busyness of life and running around to like, what would you tell 20-year-old Sadie about like why it's important to continue to do like what you're doing now?
Yeah, absolutely. You can't pour from an empty cup. Yeah, so I think that one of the biggest things is, especially as women, we tend to like give and not do anything for ourselves. So taking the time for yourself is actually going to be more beneficial to the people you're giving to because they can't take from you if you have nothing left to give. So that's definitely always something I've tried to focus on is like, okay, I got to fill me first so then I can fill the other people around me.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think makes me think of, you know, on my own journey of health and healing and so forth there, one of the probably like this crazy light bulb moment I can think of was working with Dr. Mike Frazier, my psychiatrist and counselor, and he, you know, what's the second greatest command? Love your neighbor as you love thyself. And I think to me, when he really pointed out that love thyself part, and if you look at what a gift is, you can't give away a gift if it's not something, you're really not giving a gift, right? And so if you don't have that gift of being able to love yourself and fill that cup and so forth there, it's impossible to love your neighbor in the way that God commands and calls us to. And so, that's an incredible story. If, you know, fill your cup, there's so many ways to say it there, but really, really neat to watch you do that and continue that and so forth. So, yeah. I think maybe to wrap this up and so forth here, you know, what I loved about your story and your guys' story is you showed up here hopeless in some way, shape, or form as far as your physical health, right? And the potential to heal from that, because you've just been, 17 appointments or visits in a month. It's crazy to think about there. But I guess to me, that's probably my favorite part of your guys' story, is that hope that was in some way, shape, or form gone, that I got to play a role in, to be trusted and help facilitate a process to where there's this overabundance of hope that's coming from your guys' family now. So I know there's got to be somebody, maybe not the exact story out there or anything like that, but there's a lot of people in this world right now who don't have hope when it comes to physical health or mental health, or even hoping somewhere greater to go, which I know you guys had, that carried you so much through that, and you never lost that. But, share a little bit of maybe just hope or encouragement for me, or somebody who's sitting here watching this and thinking like, I'm not going to the chiropractor, that's not for me, or maybe actual chiropractor. Just share a little bit of kind of a call to action, I guess would be a better way to say that, of why should you choose chiropractic? Why actual chiropractic? And there's potential hope here.
Yeah. I would say that if you are feeling hopeless, there is something out there for you that can help, especially for us when it came to chiropractic. We wanted Trevor to get better as fast as we could, and this was the first thing that actually gave us that glimmer, and honestly leaning more into a holistic approach and having a support system, not just with getting adjusted, but as soon as you walk in the door, feeling like you're part of a family, was that hope for us. So if you are looking for that hope, it may not be here or getting adjusted, but I can guarantee you that as soon as you walk through this door, you will feel like part of the family, and they will help you however they can and point you to the direction and resources of things that you need in your life.
Awesome. So if any part of this story, or if you're seeing anything in your life, or maybe you're somebody who's sitting at home and just there's something in your life that has you hopeless for any way, shape, or form, reach out. We'd love to connect. We'd love to hear your story, and we'd love to be potentially part of that story to getting to that hopeful place, like in Trevor and Sadie's life here. So going forward here, like and subscribe, do all those things. Thank you so much for taking time and just listening in, and I hope this impacts you in a positive way. But have an amazing day.